Patricia. This is Uncle John's granddaughter. And her husband, his name is Bella, like in Bela Lugosi.
Okay.
He's Hungarian. So she's the one who lives in Hawaii, and she's my cousin. Well, that's okay. This is Grandpa, Albert,
Aw.
and Grandma. There's Grandpa, my dad. There's Uncle John Krause. There's Aunt Julia, Mary. And now I don't know who the rest of this crowd is. I call them the hole in the wall gang. The latest one that I found, let's see, what is, Tim Gaydos, Uncle Emery's youngest son. This is his son-in-law, his daughter, and their kids. I don't know, I don't know what they're. Okay, there's Grandpa again. Uncle Andy, his wife, Elizabeth, and that's Uncle Emery. And that's okay, I think this is either Tim's wife or one of his daughters. They didn't label these things, so I don't know, who they are really. But they're Gaydoses. And this is Uncle John's, one of Uncle John's daughters. Vera, I think her name was. Do you remember Martha?
Uh-huh.
This is her.
Oh, okay.
She lived in Warren, Ohio, with her husband. That's amazing, because she was, I couldn't believe when I got that picture how she changed. That's the yearbook picture. This is Uncle John's daughter, Virginia, I believe. Isn't she pretty?
Yes.
Yeah, she worked for Pan American Airlines. And that's Tim's wife, I think. I don't know who they are.
Oh, look at that handsome couple.
This is an ancestor of Aunt Frankie's. This is, remember the first picture I showed you?
Uh-huh.
Patricia? Well, that's her, and that's one of Uncle John's daughters holding her. There's the one. Now, this is Uncle John's first wife, Vera. She was born in Czechoslovakia. There's cousin Bernadine from Syracuse.
Okay.
This is a black and white picture that I colorized.
Really?
Very simple. I'll show you how.
Okay.
This is her graduation picture. And these are the ones from Minnesota. Vanyo is her last name. There's Molly. Look at her. Sleep.
Molly the cat?
Molly oh no, Missy, I'm saying.
Missy.
Yeah, Missy. By the Christmas tree.
Aw.
Oh, those are two of my friends that are no longer around. That's when we used to go to the air shows. Now this is cousin Mildred, Uncle John's daughter, and her husband, Robert. And I want to tell you a story about Martha.
Okay.
When Martha was going around with that guy that we saw before she married him, he didn't show too much interest in her, and they sort of split, I guess, when she was a lot younger. So she was heartbroken. So Virginia, that pretty looking one, lived in Florida, And she said, why don't you come down and spend a couple of weeks or so in Florida and, relax and get over this guy. So Martha did. And while she was there, the husband of Virginia was a famous, I don't know how famous, but he was a well-known builder of boats, yachts.
Mm-hmm.
And he raced them and everything, and he was well known. And he introduced Martha to a friend of his. And he told, Martha, why don't you, we're come out to dinner with us. So this guy fell in love with Martha, and he really liked her. And he said, why don't you come to Philadelphia to meet my parents and my sister. You know what his last name was?
What?
Kelly. You know what his sister's name was?
Grace.
Grace. So she almost was in the family with Grace Kelly. We could have been invited to the damn wedding, and isn't that something?
That's amazing.
Okay, there's Grandma and Grandpa Pizzatola.
Okay.
That was.
Oh.
Oh, there they are again. That's Uncle Emery. That's Aunt Frankie's stepmother as well. That's her brother Charlie. Okay, now this is. Let me think now. This is Emery Jr., the 96-year-old guy, Uncle Emery's oldest son, or next to oldest son. He's the one who was a tail gunner on a B-29. As far as I know, he's still alive. This was Frankie's mother and her aunts. There's her dad. There's my dad, sitting on a back porch on Moravia Street. Next to him is Aunt Anna, Uncle Emery's wife. There's Uncle Emery talking to my mom. And this is, I think this is Uncle Andy. And this is Mary, Milton's wife. They came to visit one time and they were talking. That's Frankie's birth mother's father. Okay, this is Tim Gaydos. Tim Gaydos is the youngest of the Gaydos boys in Weirton. I think this is Father Ed here, but there's Aunt Anna, there's Grandma Barristed, there's Grandma Gaydos and Aunt Julia. There's Frankie and her brother. This is Frankie here, and her brother, and her birth mother, and her dad. Don't you think her dad looks like Gregory? When you look at him?
Yes.
That's Aunt Frankie.
Aw.
That's Aunt Frankie's sister, Linda.
Aw.
This was at their house in Campobello, South Carolina. That's that cathedral in Kosice in Slovakia. That's me in front of a Japanese hotel, I think. There's Stephen. There's that picture again. That's Grandpa's, Aunt Frankie's grandmother, step-grandmother. There's me.
Aw.
This was Uncle Albert when he was 16. Milton was 12. This was taken up at Grandma and Grandpa Barristed's place. this is our grand cat.
Nutmeg, she's a cutie.